back to the Word and Family. Today, we're going to be talking about our experience during camping and questions, like 3 questions.
Hi, guys. So, as you can see, we're doing something a little bit different this time. We're just sharing with all of you our experience when we went camping. And of course, we're doing individually because everybody had a different experience.
I'm ready to tell you guys everything that happened. Boy, were we in for a surprise.
Hi, my name is Jared, and I'm going to tell you how camping was.
Okay, so the first question we have is, what was your expectation for this camping trip? What were you expecting it to be like? Let's start with that.
It's kind of hard to think about that now since I've already experienced it.
But before you arrived there, how did you imagine it to be before you got there?
I thought it was going to be like, I didn't think there was already fire pits there. I thought we were going to have to make one of our own. And like it was going to be super duper natural and stuff. So yeah.
So, Bella, what was your expectation for your camping trip? Expectation is, what were you picturing for your camping trip to be like? What did you expect?
I was expecting for there to be mosquitoes only at night, not in the daytime. And I was also expecting that we would just like, there'd be other people there. But no. In the same campsite area as I spent now. No.
Okay. Any other expectations you had, or anything else that you were hoping to see or do that?
I was hoping it would be nice and fun and not irritating.
Say hi, Ezra.
Hi.
Say hi to everyone.
The questions, how did you shower?
Can you tell them about your camping experience? Tell them about your camping experience.
Hi.
What was your expectation for the camping trip?
So, what I expected was a much calmer environment since we were going to be out in nature, right? I'm thinking a little more open green pastures. I don't know why I didn't take into account the amount of mosquitoes that were going to be present. I should have known. I should have been in my vision, but it wasn't. And I just thought we would have more time to focus on the extra activities we wanted to do and do them, sort of like in peace without being swarmed by mosquitoes, but that wasn't the case. So this experience was not up to my expectations, but would I go camping again? Yes, I would, under better circumstances and better weather conditions. What was your expectations for the camping trip?
Well, my expectations, I really had expectations, which I even had told this to Desmond during the week. I was hoping to be in an area that is more open than what we were in. But I imagined myself in the morning drinking my coffee, warm, not warm, obviously, but like room temperature coffee, and just listening to the birds. That was my expectations. Now, I've been camping before as a child. So all I remember is the good memories. And back then, as a child, I didn't have to do any of the adult work. So I didn't put into mind that I'm going camping now as an adult. So I had really, really good expectations and very high expectations. I was picturing it very nice and green, which it was green. I was not expecting mosquitoes at all whatsoever. I was expecting to be able to have a very nice morning, be able to sit on my camping chairs and be able to sip some cold water, cold whatever, sparkling water, and my coffee in the morning, read my Bible. That's what I was expecting. Um, yeah.
We were actually also going to record our camping.
We were, yes, we were. We bought our cameras and everything. We were planning on recording some of the stuff, that we were doing, and even going live. We were trying to go live for the first time. So that was our expectations. So what actually happened? Tell us your part of the story.
What actually happened was the worst day of my life.
Let's start from the beginning.
Well, we went there on May 15th, the day before my birthday. And because we were supposed to go for my birthday. So as we were there, they took like an hour to find a spot, Mommy and Daddy. So I fell asleep. Surprising, right? And so we got there and we like sat up and stuff. And there were so many mosquitoes, I had to change into pants. And yeah, and a few hours later, well, we built our tent and stuff, and a few hours later, we took a shower, but the bug spray didn't really do anything. There was more mosquitoes than we expected. And poor Tyler was so defenseless. All he could do was try and eat them. Aww. And so we took a shower. We got to roast like one marshmallow. That was like my first time roasting marshmallows, actually. And that's why I was so happy. And as we were roasting marshmallows, some raccoons came along. So Mom and Dad ran raccoon. And later we took a shower. The shower had spiders in it. And now Ezra's traumatized, thinking every little spot is a bug. And when we came back, more mosquitoes. Oh my God, I was so scared. Because apparently I fell asleep for like freaking 30 minutes. And that's what it felt like. But I woke up to them making noise. And a bunch of like beetles or something that went zzz every single second outside our tent. And I saw how big they were and I was so scared. It was so scary. It was hot too, mind you. Very hot. I really wanted, and surprisingly Jared was able to sleep, but there were roaches, flies, dragonflies, beetles everywhere. And we even came across a tick. And my mom said that could give us Lyme's disease. And I saw that in a movie, actually. So I stayed up for the whole night worrying about if I would get Lyme disease by a tick. And I don't think all ticks carry Lyme disease. But morning time, we walked Tyler. And we had this little tent that had a little porta potty in it with a bag. We didn't even last 3 days because of how excruciating it was. You know, the next morning, Jared was still sleeping, but I went back to sleep for a few minutes because I was still tired because I stayed up the rest of the night. And Daddy was supposed to go to the store, but he didn't because we had to pack up early. But a lot of crazy things happened that morning. Me and Jared were trying to go fishing. There were alligators, like little alligators that were at least this long. One of them we named Slim Jim because he was slim and he was like a Jim. And so he was really interested in Jared's little fishing rod thing, and we had to pull it away super fast, but we never got to catch any fish, really. And when we came back, I think Ezra woke up. Yeah, Ezra woke up, but he wasn't really feeling in the mood and stuff. We tried to give him water, but he rejected it. He just wasn't feeling okay, really. So, you know what happened? He threw up. Straight water and mucus. I looked at it and it surprised me. because of how many questions were in my face. I felt like turning purple and different colors of the rainbow because I didn't know what to say. Water and mucus throw up on the floor of my tent. So we had to pack up early. I started crying because I thought Ezra was going to die. Because I thought he got bit by a tick. And my eyes were really starting to heat up. I don't know why. Felt weird. My eyes were fuzzy. I felt nauseous too. So I had to sit in the car. I had to sit in the car, in the air-conditioned car, while everybody else had to, pack up. And I think Mommy was on her period, so I was worried about everyone thinking that they were going to start feeling weird too. But it's okay, because nobody got hurt, I think. And we had to drive to gate 3 to shower. There was a bunch of flies everywhere, like little gnats. And in the showers, Ezra was scared because there were spiders, like full-on daddy long-leg spiders everywhere. You could imagine that.
Okay, so what actually happened?
Well, I didn't have coffee. I didn't sit on my camping chairs at all. What happened when we first got there was very, very exciting. We get there. We were the first ones to get there because we wanted to make sure we get there in time because it's first come, first, you take your spots. So we're driving around. But before we picked our spot, we wanted to know where were the showers. So that way, once we picked our spot, we can all start taking turns and getting in the shower. We didn't find the shower. We were driving for an hour and 40 minutes when we got there looking for the shower because there's different spots. There's like gate 1, gate 2, gate 3. And apparently, in gate 1, when we go, you can just keep on driving and it just takes you all the way to the other side, I guess, of Florida. But that's a whole different story. So we ended up turning back and going back to the campsite and finally picking out our spots. We get there. I anchored Tyler on the ground and so he can walk around. We are, like I said, all excited. I'm excited. We're like, all right, guys, let's get this going. My husband and I were taking things out of the car. We're putting things up. And we are all working in the tent. It was a Vevor 10 to 12 person family tent. So it was huge. It was the Campbell's tent. So it's huge. And it was the first time. It was a brand new tent that we had gotten. And we were looking so forward to putting it up, using it, and all that. So we finally put up the tent. We finally set up the grill because we also knew that the Sabbath was going to be starting. So we had plans on how to set up all the food and everything. And we're like, okay, we got the tent up. We had the smaller tent for the portable potty for me and Bella to use. And we finally get the grill going. It is daytime. So I see that we are in a good place where I can step away and go take a shower. Because, I was sweaty. And I wanted to go early enough so that way the boys can go. So me and Bella and Ezra, we decided to go take a shower. Everything was good. They were making dinner. So by the time we got back, dinner was going to be ready for that Friday and for the Sabbath, which was, starting. Well, what happened to us at the showers is like a building. And each door, when you open it, is a shower, and you lock it. So, of course, I go in there with Ezra and Bella. We all taking a shower in that one room. There are spiders everywhere. I am trying to have both Bella and Ezra not touch the walls. I'm like, just put on soap. Just take a shower. I don't care if you get your hair wet. Just get wet, put the soap on, and let's get out of here. It was hot, but it was so hot that the cold water felt good. So we took cold showers. And we finally finished, and Ezra was like, the spider. He was all afraid of the spider. I was like, it's okay. Just leave it alone. Don't even look at them. So we finally finished. We get in the car. I called Desmond to tell him, hey, we're on our way back. It was a 3-mile drive. We had to drive 3 miles to get to this shower. So I'm calling him back to let him know, hey, I'm back on the road. I'm going back towards you guys so he can be ready. So that way they can go. I have no idea what they're going through. So when I get there, it is dark. I have to say it got dark quick. When we were leaving, the sun was just starting to come down, and I was like, okay, Bella, we gotta hurry up so that way Daddy can hurry up. And what took us longer was to get into each gate. We have to put in the code. I have to get out of the car, put the code in, and then close the gate behind me and do the same thing when we get to where we're staying at. And that's kind of a challenging when you're by yourself with kids and the sun is going down, because there's other people there too. So I have to watch out, like, who, if somebody's going to pop out of anywhere, stuff like that. So we finally get back, and mosquitoes are not that bad at that moment. I'm still under the excitement. I'm still like, yeah, this is fun, all that kind of stuff. So I get there and I see that my husband has the other vehicle on and the lights shining on the whole place. I'm like, why is he doing that? That was the only thought that came to my mind. Like, what is going on? So when I get out of the car, he's like, do you have the flashlights? I was like, yeah, I have the yellow ones, the big ones, but you guys have flashlights in the tents. You have the emergency LED lights. He forgot that he had those. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, there were raccoons, so we had no lights. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm not really paying attention to how severe this whole raccoon situation was. So at that point, my mind is still like, okay, let's finish getting ready because the sun is already down. Let's make sure everything is ready for Sabbath. And I haven't eaten. Ezra hasn't eaten. Bella hasn't eaten. So I was like, all right, let's get food so we can eat. So I think I gave Bella a plate. Did she eat? I'm not too sure. I think she did eat. I know I tried giving Ezra food. He didn't want it. So he didn't want any food. I said, okay, I'm not going to force you. I'll give you something else. I ended up eating a little piece of steak and my potato salad that we had made. And I ate it inside the tent. Why? Because the mosquitoes were... My husband was like, why are you walking at that? I had a little tan top with my pajama pants because it was hot. So he's like, you're going to get bit by mosquitoes. And I was like, okay, but I wasn't feeling them. So I was like, you know what? Let me eat in the tent. So I sit down in the tent with Ezra. I'm trying to feed him. He's not eating. I'm eating and everything. And then I hear the kids. I hear Bella saying that she wanted to do her s'mores. And we're like, all right, fine. The fire was still going. It's not like we were going to kindle a whole new fire. The fire was still going. So we were like, all right, just do your s'mores. But then it got really, really like pitch black. And all I hear my husband's like, okay, we got to get in. We got to stay in. And at that point, I went outside the tent and Ezra stayed in the tent. And I have a sweat on. Now I feel the mosquitoes. I'm like, something doesn't feel right. We ran in the tents. Now we're sitting in the tents and we're like, what are we going to do now? And we're hearing these mosquitoes. We're trying to kill the mosquitoes in the tents. And Jared fell asleep. He was the first one to go to sleep. He slept like a baby that night. It's like nothing was fazing him. Bella took a long time to fall asleep. My husband fell asleep also after a while. Ezra could not go to sleep. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and this boy, he was our mosquito guard. He kept telling me, mosquito over there, mosquito over there. He got the fear of mosquito from that moment. That I'm even going to show you guys a picture of that. And I was up. I think I only got like an hour sleep because I was up until 2 something in the morning, and I couldn't go to sleep. I was even praying like, Lord, am I going to make it tonight? Would I be able to go to sleep? Because my spirit was not feeling right. And I was just praying and praying like, Lord, please help us get through this night. And the raccoons at this point, I think they had arrived earlier in that night after we got in the tent, but then they came back. I fell asleep and I was in a deep sleep, and all I hear is this like banging. I'm like, what is that noise? So I jump up and I was like, oh, it's the raccoons. I was like, babe, wake up, the raccoons. I think they're back. He jumps up, half asleep. All I hear, he gets the flashlight. Hey, get out of there. Get out of there. He's going like this to the flashlight. And in my mind, like, you think they're really going to hear you from there? Now I'm looking, I'm sitting up, and I can see wherever he points the flash, I can see from where I'm sitting. I was like, man, those raccoons are really huge. This was at 4 o'clock in the morning. A little while after that, they come back, and I'm like, babe, the raccoons, they're back. Now Bella's up. And now me, Bella, my husband, we're up, we're there talking. Now we start finding roaches in the tents. And we were like, what? Where did these roaches come from? Man, I have to say, I really felt like crying that night. Like I just wanted to cry like a baby. Like I just wanted to like, I want to go home. That type of crying, because I didn't want to be there, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I didn't want to be the party pooper either. But I was praying that the next morning will be good. So, sun came up 6 o'clock in the morning. We were up. We stayed up until the sun came up. I had to use the bathroom. Actually, that night, I think we all had to use the bathroom, and we all had to come back out of the tents that night to use the bathroom and then go back in, which I think that's where the rest of the mosquitoes came in, and that's where the whole night started, where we were killing mosquitoes inside the tents. So fast forward back again to 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun is up. And we're like, oh, thank you, Lord. The sun is up. Now we can see. I come out of the tents. I'm walking around the grounds. I'm still expecting for me to have a nice morning, hear the birds, maybe, have some iced coffee or whatever room temperature coffee. And my husband, he's tired. And he's like, I'm going to take a nap. I said, okay, no problem. Jared was still sleeping. But then he woke up a little while ago, and him and Bella decided to walk around. Well, before that, me and Bella decided to walk around the camp. It's like a big circle, and see other people, because there were other people there camping. So we decided to walk around the circle. So we walked around. It was a nice walk. And I don't know if we took Ezra with us. No, we took Tyler with us. We walked with Tyler. And when we got back, that's when Jared was up, and Jared and Bella decided to walk around, and there was like a little lake. So they're like, oh, let's go try fishing. So I was like, all right, go. This time, Ezra was up. So now I'm trying to like get things started for the day. We had the solar panels. So I'm trying to charge everyone's phone. We all have personal fans. We had like the regular fan, 2 regular fans, and then we had the personal fans. So the kids' fans, they died out because they used it all night long. And then we were trying to have them use ours, but I was like, okay, I got to charge these fans. And then charging their phones too. So I'm trying to work out these solar panels, and they're horrible. Listen, if you're going to buy solar panels, make sure that you buy really good ones, that you do spend money on them. I'm not saying that we didn't, but the fact that I put one phone to charge and it was still at 30% an hour later, that's ridiculous. And I was already getting like, oh my God, thinking I am not going to be able to charge anything for the day before the sun even goes down. So now I'm thinking, how are we going to survive during the Sabbath? We still have to keep the laws. We still have to keep the way that Yah wants us to go. So now Ezra is acting weird. Desmond is in the tent taking a nap. And I was like, I need this man to be sharp. So that's why I was like, go take a nap. Because if you're not sharp, then I have to be extra sharp. And for my ladies out there, if you know what I'm talking about, it was not the right time of the month for myself. So besides the heat, the mosquitoes and everything, I was going through it. And Ezra starts looking like something's going on. I was like, all right, what's up? I start giving him water. He takes a little bit, but then he doesn't want it. I start throwing water on him. Like I just poured water on him just because I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's the heat. But it was only 7:30 in the morning. And then 9 o'clock comes. He kind of like moved around and everything. He was good. Then 9 o'clock comes. I'm like, okay, no, something's really going on because he's not like this. I go to the tent. I was like, honey, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to give you 30 more minutes so you can get up. And I think I shouted, I don't think Ezra's feeling good. So that's when he's like, give me 30 more minutes. I said, okay. The kids, Jared and Bella, they're like walking around and stuff. And I'm still trying to charge things up. And I can't charge anything with these 2 panels. Mind you, the sun is out. And 9:30 comes. I bring Ezra into the tent with me. The kids come in the tent. Tyler comes in the tent. We're all in the tent. We're all there talking. And now we're trying to figure out how to deal with this day because we just had a horrible night. And we know it's the Sabbath. And we're trying to figure out how we're going to survive. So me and my husband, we suggested, hey, we should just go home, blah, blah, blah. The kids were like, no, we want to stay. So we looked at each other and we were like, all right, let's see, how can we hold this up? We needed more water. And I was looked at my husband. I was like, babe, we cannot survive without more water. And we're like, but we cannot buy. So we were like, all right, we're going to have to go get water. And we're just going to have to repent. The Lord sees what's happening here. And we need water.
The Sabbath was made for man. Man wasn't made for the Sabbath. And that was the time where we decided to do what was right.
What was for us to
necessary.
survive. Correct. So we decided, okay, he's going to go to the store. He's going to get what we need to be able to survive, to be able to stay there. And as we're speaking that, Ezra gets up, and that's when I'm like, oh, babe, and Ezra's not feeling good. I think something's really wrong with Ezra. And he gets up and he just starts throwing up. That was the breaker for us. He starts throwing up, and we were like, uh-oh. I think, I don't know if it was Bella or Java, they were like, okay, we're going home. So from that moment on, we just got up and I put Ezra and Bella in the car. I was like, come on, you two are going in the car. I turned on the car. We put the AC on blast. I was like, you guys stay here. I gave them food, water, everything. I was like, you guys stay here. Jared, me, and Desmond, we all started taking things down as fast as we could, because at this point, me and Desmond were thinking, like, what if he gets worse? What if one of the other kids gets sick? Like, what? We're not near a hospital, so we need to move fast. And it took us a while. It took about an hour and a half for us to be able to get everything down. And like I said, it was hard. We were taking breaks. It was hot. Even Jared took breaks. Like we had to take breaks. That's how horrible it was. Well, we finally got things down, and we get in the car and we start driving home. It wasn't a far drive. It was like about a 45-minute drive. Thank the Lord. And that was one of the reasons why we picked this campsite, because it was close to home and we wanted to make sure that we can come home in the event that anything was to go wrong. So I'm very glad that we picked that one, because if we would have gone 2 hours far like all the other ones were, that would have been a worse trip. So we finally came home, and we were so tired and dirty and stinky and sticky that when we came home, we literally just bought upstairs whatever food we had so it won't go bad, left everything in the car. We threw away the tents. We were not staying with that tents. We threw it away. Everybody got in the showers. We all showered and everything, including the dog. And of course, after I took care of the kids and the dog, and my husband showered, I got in the shower. And then we had to buy food because we didn't really have food to eat. And then we all slept. And that's why we couldn't do a video, because we had to rejuvenate. We had to reset. And physically, we were not feeling well. I know I wasn't. So I know everybody else was going through it. But I told my husband, I'm not saying that I went through the worst, but compared to what I was going through, if you ladies understand me, it is not a good combination. But I thank the Lord that we made it home. Tyler was so happy when we got into the house. He came upstairs first with the kids. That by the time I came in, he was just jumping, running back and forth from one room to the other. Like, you could tell he was like, I'm so happy to be home. And that poor dog, he did so good, with the exception of telling my husband that there was raccoons coming. But I think he was more afraid than anything. And then we came home and we literally slept for the whole day. And I'm still healing from the mosquito bites. So if I didn't mention this, I'm allergic to mosquitoes. So when I get bit by mosquitoes, I go through it. Like I still have marks and everything on my skin because I'm severely allergic to them. I get swollen and everything. I just got bitten by a mosquito yesterday, and I'm still going through it. That's why you see me with the long sleeves and everything, because if I touch it, it'll just get swollen. So yes, I'm allergic to mosquitoes. So that was intense. afterwards. I don't go through it at the moment, it's afterwards. And tell us your part of the story. What actually happened during that camping trip?
So, the car ride, I was on my phone the whole time. But when we got there, I was like, oh man, this is going to be so boring. Because it looked boring. But then when we were like there and we were like setting up, it got more fun. So yeah, but the first day was really cool. Because that was the only day we stayed. But it was pretty cool. And then, yeah. But like, there's a lot of mosquitoes everywhere. You couldn't stand still for too long because they'd come out of nowhere. Ezra's afraid of mosquitoes now because of how many there were in camping. So yeah, there was a lot of mosquitoes basically. Yeah.
What else did you experience? Give us your story. What happened during the camping trip?
So, let's see. Most of the time we were setting up our tent and stuff. And I thought it was really fun to hammer the things into the ground. And it's called, yeah, we didn't do too much after that. Because after that, we made a fire, which was really fun. And yeah. And
Big fire. Oh yeah. Grab some. What? Oh look, the
Yes, there's radiation.
the thing is smoking. Look.
Cool. We get our supplies from this little pond.
And then at night was I don't even know. That like almost nighttime when we made the fire, there was like we made our food already. Me and Daddy and everyone else was taking a shower, and there was raccoons coming up to the place. And I've never ever seen a raccoon before until now. So I was like, "Whoa."
What do we do when raccoons approach?
Just wait. Ain't getting any of this though. Hey, back up.
Back up.
Oh. And yeah. I think they were trying to steal our food. So yeah. And then I kind of expected more. I thought I'd see a deer or something. But then on the last day, we didn't really stay super long. But on the last day, I went fishing for a few minutes and my rod broke. But there was a alligator in the water. But it was a baby. I thought it was going to be huge, but it was small. So yeah, it wasn't very intimidating anymore after that. And then packing up was really, really, really boring and annoying and tiring. We had to like take this huge tent down, which took us a whole day to build. And it took us like an hour and 30 minutes to take down. And like it was super hot. We didn't have any AC. It was hot. And yeah. So yeah, that last hour or few was not very good. I remember the raccoons were on our car. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that was it. I got to sleep surprisingly peacefully. So yeah.
What actually happened during your camping trip?
So, what actually happened was, we get to the camping site. You know, we're excited because this is our first camping trip. So we get there, and we're looking for a good spot to set up shop. So we're driving around. It's a dedicated campsite, so you have to it's first come first serve to who pick which area they want to be at. So we find the area, we park, we begin to unload because we had 2 vehicles. We brought 2 vehicles for the amount of things that we were bringing. So we bring out the tent and we begin to set up, and everything is good. Everything is good. We're still excited. We bring our dog Tyler out. You know, we had the leash that you dig into the ground, and it gives him enough slack where he can run around the campsite freely. So, you know, everything is good. We're setting up, we're getting everything out, get the cooler out, we get the grill out. We had a little portable potty toilet area for the females. Because, you know, Jared and I, we just did our stuff right in the trees, you know, guys, we had that freedom. And everything's good, everything's good. I guess the mosquitoes were not, they were, you know, out and about, because when we got there, it wasn't crazy. It was a little here and there. You like, oh, you know, shoot. But once we set up the tent, and we had one big tent. We had a 10, 12 person tent. And we all slept inside with our sleeping bags. We had fans. We had the portable light bulbs to give us light. So, you know, we had a plan. And we were putting our plan together. And so once we set up the tent, everything's good. You know, we start getting the food ready for grilling, and everything's going well. Everything's going well. Not yet bombarded by mosquitoes, but everything's cool. So let me see. At this time, everyone was, you know, pretty sweaty from working, putting up the tent, getting everything out, and it was hot. It was hot outside. And that's gonna be one of the things that I'm gonna recommend you not do when you go camping. Make sure the weather is pleasant to cool. Camping when it's hot, it's just another thing that's against you. Being out in the woods, in the wilderness. It's just, you don't want to deal with that. So at this point in time, the missus and our daughter decide to go drive to the shower area, because they had a dedicated shower area for those who were camping. So those two said they're gonna go shower. They took Jared with them. They took Ezra with them, our 3-year-old. So it's just me and my son Jared. And we're, you know, grilling. We're getting the food on the grill, getting it prepared. And again, the mosquitoes were out. I think this is around the time the mosquitoes were increasing. They began to start to come back to this area. And our dog, our poor Tyler, he was just, it was like the mosquitoes. You could barely see his face clearly because there was so many mosquitoes flying around his face. Oh man, but he survived. So my wife and my daughter go take a shower, right? And it's my son Jared, my 12-year-old son, and I, we're grilling. We got the steaks, we got the grilled chicken on the grill, and everything's cool. And by this time, the sun is now beginning to come down. It's beginning to set. So it's, you know, it's light, but then it's starting to get dark. So steaks on the grill, chicken on the grill, and I think we turned our face from the grill for about 10 seconds to do something else. And when we turned back around, it was a family of raccoons on the other side of the grill, just standing there looking at us like, hey, how are you guys? Smells good. What are you cooking? And we just looked like, whoa, where did they come from? It was like a mom raccoon with 3 of her children, smaller raccoons. They were just standing there looking at us like, hey, how are you? Welcome to our area. Welcome to our domain. So I'm like, hold on, back up. You know, you guys are trying to get too close to our food. Back up, you know. So I forgot what I had in my hand. I think I had a shovel. And so I put the shovel like in front of the grill, stick it in the ground, and I stand next to the shovel, you know, to try to get them to back up and, you know, run back into the bushes. So, but, you know, they kind of backed up a little bit, but then they didn't. They just stood there like, nah, we're not going anywhere. And they began to just start to circle back and forth around where we were, next to the grill. And so Jared is like, Dad, they're not leaving. And I'm like, yeah, I see. And so I'm like, all right, eventually they'll go because I'm not going to allow them to get close to the grill. And, you know, instead of trying to get close to the grill, they was trying to come in other ways around the side, next to the cooler. I had to bring the shovel over there, and then they try to come back and swing around the other side with the chairs, where we had the chairs. So we had to be on point. Jared standing on top of the picnic table yelling, ah, ah. We were just trying whatever we could to try to back these raccoons up. And while this is all happening, it's getting darker and darker and darker. And to the point where the raccoons finally ran back in the bushes. And so we're like, oh, they finally left. But it started to get dark and we couldn't really see clearly. And so I'm like, all right, let's get the flashlights out. Let's get the big flashlights out. And so I'm looking for the flashlights in the tent. I'm looking in the car that we had left, the vehicle we had left, and I can't find the flashlights until it dawns on me that the flashlights are in the vehicle with Mom and Bella. So now we don't have any flashlights and it's getting dark. So I'm like, oh boy. Jared, meanwhile, he's busy eating his steak. I'm trying to now watch and patrol the area to make sure I can see if this family comes back or any other critters or predators come back. And I really didn't get to enjoy my steak. I tried to eat, I'm standing up, you know, trying to eat my steak and watch at the same time and see what's going on around us. And this whole time, Jared and I are trying to battle the raccoons. Tyler, he has no clue what's going on. He doesn't even notice the raccoons are around. He was like oblivious to the raccoons, and we brought him here for his senses, so he can let us know what's coming around in case we don't notice it. But we notice the raccoons, and he doesn't even notice the raccoons. I'm like, boy, gee, thanks, Tyler. Thanks for your dog senses. All right, this time I said, I have a good idea. I'm gonna turn on the vehicle that's left, and I'm just gonna shine the headlights in our direction, me and Jared, so we can have light. So I did that, and it worked. So now I can see, you know, because I got the headlights beaming in our direction, so I can see what's going on. I can see in the bushes that's behind us, behind our tent. So I can kind of see what's going on. So I'm enjoying my steak a little bit better. Jared's eating. I'm still trying to get the food. I got the chicken on the grill, chicken cutlets on the grill. And then the wife and Bella finally gets back. And they're like, hey, how did you guys do? We're like, we survived. Though we had some visitors, we survived. So I'm telling them about the whole raccoon story. And they're like, what? Yeah, I'm like, yep, raccoons. They tried to come in and join us with some steak and some chicken. And they tried to force their way in, but we fought them off. And I'm telling her, I couldn't find the flashlights. Where are the flashlights? And she's like, oh, they're in the car with me. I forgot. I'm like, yeah, you forgot to leave the flashlights. So they get out, they try to get something to eat. But now by this time, it's dark. And Jared and I didn't get a chance to go shower because now it's dark. I don't want to leave them here, Mom and Bella. Wife and Bella, I don't want to leave them here while me and Jared go to the shower because it's too dark now. So Bella wants to roast s'mores. So they're like, okay, let's get the s'mores out. Bella, Jared, they get to roast some s'mores. I'm still looking out. I'm still looking behind my back just to make sure no other gang of raccoons are coming out because, we still got the food going. So that goes on. And now, because we have the lights on and we have the flashlights out, the mosquitoes are coming now. It's like on 10. They are just flying everywhere. Big mosquitoes, small mosquitoes, everything. They all out there now. And I'm like, oh man, it's getting uncomfortable because every second you like this, you like, try to clear your eyesight, get the mosquito, they buzzing in your ears. It was getting hectic out there. So Jared and Bella finish roasting their s'mores. Everyone eats, everyone's, doing all right. So we're like, all right, it's dark now. Let's get in the tent. Let's call it the night. We go inside the tent. Of course, as we're going in the tent, some mosquitoes get inside the tent. So we're busy trying to kill the mosquitoes that's in the tent so we don't have to deal with them as we're trying to relax and, finally try to get some rest. That was a job in itself. Got the sleeping bags out. We had a blow-up mattress inside the tent for my wife and Ezra. The rest of us had our sleeping bags. We're eating snacks, hanging out, talking, and everything like that. And for some reason, after you kill the mosquitoes you think you see, and that's it, and when you lay back down, all of a sudden you see more mosquitoes just pop up out of nowhere. And we're busy killing mosquitoes all night inside the tent while we're hearing more mosquitoes on the outside. Somehow, there was just a lot of mosquitoes inside our tent that we were busy killing. So we spent most of the night doing that. And as we're killing the mosquitoes, all of a sudden, we noticed that it was a different type of mosquito. We was like, wait, is that a mosquito on the tent? It was a little bigger and brown. I'm like, hold on, let's get a little closer. It was a roach. I'm like, how the heck a roach get in the tent? How did a roach get out here? So we kill it, thinking it's, somehow one roach got there. We just kill it, and that'll be that. Can you believe more roaches popped up inside the tent out of nowhere? We're like, how is roaches out here in the woods in our tent? How do we get roaches? We're battling mosquitoes, and these look like the roaches that fly, because I saw one. It wasn't like flying like a regular mosquito, but it flew from one spot to the next. So I was like, whoa. we have to kill these. So we're killing roaches, we're killing mosquitoes. We're trying to figure out how they're getting in, where's the holes at. We're looking around. Putting Ezra to sleep, trying to keep him comfortable so he's not annoyed, you know, because he's out of his element. He's used to being at home, you know, relaxing in the bed, falling asleep on his own. Now my wife has to keep him cool, and oh man, it was just so hot. We had the portable fans blowing. We had I think we had 2 or 3 of the portable fans. And the fans also had like a LED light around the blade. So that gave us some good light inside the tent. So after that workout, killing roaches, killing mosquitoes, you know, we finally were able to doze off and fall asleep. Finally, for a moment. Because as I was sleeping rather, Rosemary, my wife, wakes me up. Babe, I hear something outside. I think it's the raccoons. So I'll get up and I'll get the flashlight and I flash through the front of the tent, which was sort of like see-through. I flash the flashlight through. I see 2 big, full-grown raccoons trying to get inside our grill. Now, me being the genius, again, this is our first camp trip, right? Me being the genius, what we had left over that we didn't finish, I said, you know, I'm just gonna put it inside the grill, put the top on, and I'm gonna put a chair on top of the grill, just in case that mom family raccoon tries to come back and get in the grill. They won't be able to get in because I'm gonna stick a chair in there on top of the grill so they won't get in. We left the cooler out there too, which had fruits inside of it and other snacks that we had to keep cool. We had ice in the cooler, and we put something else to keep the cooler closed, something heavy on top of the cooler. So as I'm flashing the light through the tent, I see a big raccoon on top of the grill trying to like get his hand inside the vent area. And I see the other big raccoon trying to lift up the cooler top. I'm like, get out of here. Get away from the grill. I'm shining the light on them. And so they look at me at first. They didn't run. They just looked at me like, come on, man. We trying to eat out here. And so I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here. And so they scatter away. They ran. So I'm like, all right, babe. They went away. They left. I'm trying to go back to sleep. She wakes me up again. I don't know how much time later, but I'm not getting no sleep, hardly. My sleep is broken multiple times throughout the night. And she wakes me up. They're back. This time I go out. The raccoons are jumping on our car, on top of the hood, the roof of the car. I'm like, get out of here. Get away from our car. They run, so they jump from one car to the next, top back down on the ground, runs back to the grill, sniffs the grill, then runs back to the, to the bushes or what have you. And these are 2 big, like, brolic-looking raccoons. And so I'm like, oh man. So my sleep was broken. I'm thinking about these big raccoons that's out there. I can't even go back to sleep at this point, because I'm just trying to stay on point. I'm listening to have these raccoons come back, and I'm like, man, I should have just put the food in the car. Why did I wrap it up and put it back in the grill? We should have put the cooler back in the car. Mosquitoes still flying around. I'm looking around for roaches. It was just so uncomfortable. It's hot. So we wound up just sitting up. It was like 4 in the morning. We sat up until like 6, till the sun came up. And we were tired. We were annoyed. And when the sun came up, now mind you, this was just night 1. We planned to stay the whole weekend. This was Friday night into Saturday morning. We were going to stay till Sunday morning. It was so tough that night. And then that morning, my son Ezra, the heat was getting to him. He was looking like lethargic, looking like he was out of it. And we were trying to keep him cool. He wasn't himself. And we were like, listen, guys, the kids at first wanted to stay, but once they saw Ezra the way he was, you know, the concern they had for him was like, all right, we changed our mind. I think, and then we looked at each other. We was like, yeah, we all want to go. Let's get out of here. This is too much. And so we all agreed that we just gonna pack it up, head home, and get back to our regular living. So it was a job packing up, and I don't know what it was, but through the night it was kind of damp. So by the time the sun came up, it was the dampness, and then the sun coming up, and then, you know, the heat starting to rise. This is when the mosquitoes was on 100. Oh, it was mosquitoes everywhere. We were trying to pack up, trying to get everything down, we had the big tent. We have so many dead mosquitoes inside the tent. It was mosquitoes dead outside the tent, to the point where we couldn't even clean it off good. We got it down. We got the grill down. We got everything down. Rolled up the tent. We were so hot. We had to take breaks. Mosquitoes was just everywhere. It was tough. It was tough. But we did it. We did it. We were so glad when we had everything packed. We had everything packed, and it was time to go. We was like, all right, we done? We got everything, let's get out of here. And we just hit the road. Jub had the AC on blast in the car, and we came home. And when we got home, we were so happy to be home. Tyler was so happy. He went from mosquitoes just living around his face and his body. And he looked like he just gave up. He couldn't fight them off no more. He was trying to eat them. He was trying to wave his hand, his paw around his face. He was trying to roll in the grass, and nothing was working for him. No mosquitoes was just on him. But when we got back, he was so happy. We all were so happy. It was an experience that we will remember forever. It was an experience that we definitely will learn from. But will I go camping again? I'm open to it. I'm gonna say yes, but definitely under better weather conditions. It will have to be much cooler in the fall, winter time. And I will definitely not leave any cooked food outside in the in the grill again for raccoons to smell and gather into our area. What an experience.
What would you rate your experience from
0.
scale 1 to 10? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Well,
0.
0. What would you rate your experience to be? Scale of 1 through 10, 1 being horrible and 10 being the best.
6.
I'm gonna say a 5.
I'll give it a 4.
Thank you for watching, and let us know if you guys have any advice for us when it comes to camping. You know, like I said, I'm not knocking it down, but when it does happen, hey, I would like to know more information when it comes to camping.
Yes. Help us.
Yes, we thought we were prepared, but apparently we need to be more prepared. Have a great evening, guys.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.